Chosen one. Someone is getting absolutely destroyed right now because they lied about you, and the person tearing them apart? The one you thought chose them over you. They are barking this vindictive liar down so hard that this person cannot even speak back. Complete demolition. Your person just discovered everything. Every lie, every manipulation, every dirty trick this faker used to try and steal your place. This manipulator is sitting there getting their entire character assassinated in real time while your person throws you right in their face. The truth is ugly for this liar, and your vindication is about to be massive. There's chaos erupting in someone's living space right now. Not physical chaos, but emotional devastation. The person you care about, your soulmate, your divine counterpart, whoever this connection is, they're absolutely losing it on someone else. This isn't just an argument. This is a complete verbal demolition. They're standing there, probably pacing, definitely heated, telling this manipulator exactly what they think of them. And the manipulator? They can't even respond. They're caught red-handed, speechless, because everything they built on lies is falling apart. The energy is so intense that this person, your person, is saying things like they'd rather be alone forever than spend another second with this deceiver. That's how deep the betrayal cuts. And you know what's driving all this rage? They've realized they're still completely in love with you. This wasn't just someone being jealous or competitive. This was a full-scale operation designed to destroy your connection and steal your place. This person was wearing a mask the entire time. They convinced everyone around them that they were operating on your level, spiritually, emotionally, energetically. They made themselves appear to be the high-value soulmate that you actually are. The deception runs so deep that they had mutual friends believing their version of events. They painted themselves as the victim and you as the problem. They told people you couldn't be trusted, that you were using people, that you were toxic. Think about the level of calculation required for this. They didn't just lie about you once or twice. They created an entire false narrative and spread it through multiple social circles. They turned people against you who had never even met you properly, and the most diabolical part, they used manipulation tactics that would make your skin crawl. This manipulator didn't just rely on social warfare. They went deeper, darker. They attempted to use energetic manipulation to bind your person to them and create artificial feelings of attachment. We're talking about someone who was desperate enough to try love magic, binding rituals, anything to create a false connection. They knew they couldn't compete with your natural bond, so they tried to manufacture one through manipulation. They even faked emergencies and crises to generate sympathy and keep your person emotionally invested. Fake illnesses, manufactured drama, anything to make themselves appear vulnerable and in need of rescue. Your person fell for it because they have a good heart. They saw someone who appeared to be struggling and wanted to help. They had no idea. They were being systematically manipulated by someone who studied your connection and tried to recreate it artificially. The irony is devastating. While you were out there growing, evolving, becoming more powerful, this manipulator was trying to play dress-up in your energy. They wanted to be you so badly that they built their entire identity around copying what you represent. Something triggered the revelation. Maybe your person found messages they weren't supposed to see. Maybe someone who knew the truth finally spoke up. Maybe the manipulator got careless and exposed themselves. Whatever happened, it hit like a lightning bolt. All the information came flooding in at once, and your person suddenly saw the entire picture with crystal clarity. They realized they'd been blind to obvious red flags because they were being actively deceived. They understood that their intuition was trying to warn them, and they'd been talked out of trusting it by someone with an agenda. The manipulator had convinced them that their gut feelings about the situation were wrong, that they were being paranoid or judgmental. Classic manipulation, making the victim doubt their own perceptions. Now they're seeing how they were pressured by mutual friends and family members who had also been fed lies about the situation. People who meant well but were operating on false information ended up becoming unwitting accomplices in the manipulation. Person feels humiliated that they fell for it. They're angry at themselves for not seeing through it sooner. They're devastated that they allowed someone to come between them and their true connection with you. The manipulator thought they were so clever, so convincing in their performance. They believed they had successfully replaced you in your person's life and heart. They were probably feeling pretty proud of their manipulation skills. Now they're discovering what every fake eventually learns. Truth has a way of surfacing, and when it does, the fallout is devastating. This person was pretending to be spiritually advanced, emotionally mature, and energetically aligned with your person. In reality, they were operating from the lowest vibrational energy possible: jealousy, spite, manipulation, and deceit. They convinced people they were a high-level soulmate connection, when they were actually a karmic lesson designed to teach your person what they don't want in their life. The friends and family who supported this connection are now seeing the truth too. Everyone who got fooled is feeling the sting of being deceived. The manipulator didn't just lie to your person, they lied to entire social circles and family networks. The following is a message from Mike, founder of the Obsidian Inner Order, powered by Astral Atom. Look, I know you came here for your Chosen One video, but I need a minute. If I don't speak this into the field now, I might never forgive myself. Some of us were born into fire, abused, exiled, haunted by truths no one around us could hold. That doesn't mean we're cursed. It means we were chosen to walk through the veil and come back with the map. Inside the Obsidian Inner Order, we gather every week, live on Zoom, face to face. And when I say real people, I mean it. A former military drone operator who now uses his mind as the remote. A millionaire CFO who walked away from everything to become a psychic in Noosa. A spiritual healer once trapped inside a satanic cult. A seer, a sage, a soul who left Mormonism and found the Gnosis instead. These are the ones who gave it all up when their calling hit. And that's just a glimpse. And every call is recorded. So when you're alone, when you're crawling through the dirt of your own awakening, you can press play and feel the field again. This is not for everyone, but maybe it's for you. Can you see yourself among us? Join the Obsidian Inner Order, link in the description. Thank you all for supporting the broadcast. We quite literally could not do this without you. Here's what makes you a chosen one. You saw this coming from miles away. While everyone else was buying into the manipulator's performance, you knew something was fundamentally wrong with the energy. You predicted that this artificial connection would eventually implode because it was built on lies and manipulation. You knew that truth always surfaces, especially when someone tries to interfere with a chosen one's destiny. You probably tried to warn people, or at least expressed concerns that were dismissed as jealousy or bitterness. People thought you couldn't, except that your person had moved on with someone else. They didn't understand that you weren't upset about your person being happy with someone else. You were concerned because you could see that this other person was dangerous, manipulative, and ultimately destructive. Your intuition was screaming, warnings that nobody wanted to hear. Your spiritual senses were picking up on the deception, the false energy, the calculated nature of this person's behavior. Now everyone is seeing what you saw all along. Your person is realizing that you were trying to protect them from someone who was systematically destroying their life and happiness. The most devastating realization for the manipulator is discovering that your person never stopped loving you. All their manipulation, all their binding attempts, All their efforts to create artificial attachment couldn't override the genuine connection you share. Your person is admitting that they compared everyone to you. They're acknowledging that no matter what they did or who they were with, you remained the standard by which they measured every other connection. The manipulator thought they had won. When your person chose to explore a connection with them, they believed their manipulation tactics had successfully severed your bond and created a new one. They're learning the hard way that you can't manufacture what chosen ones have naturally. The depth of connection, the spiritual alignment, the genuine love, none of that can be faked or forced through manipulation. Your person is telling the manipulator that being with them made them miss you even more. Every day highlighted the difference between artificial attachment and genuine love. They're realizing that the manipulator brought out the worst in them, while you brought out their highest potential. The contrast is stark and undeniable. The manipulator's reputation is about to take a massive hit. Word is spreading through social circles about what really happened. People are starting to connect dots they should have seen earlier. Friends and family members are remembering conversations where they felt something was off about the manipulator's stories. They're recalling moments when the manipulator's version of events didn't quite add up. Some people are feeling guilty for participating in the campaign against you. They're realizing they were used as weapons by someone with a personal agenda. Others are angry that they were deceived and manipulated into supporting something that was fundamentally dishonest. Nobody likes being made a fool of, especially by someone they trusted. The manipulator's social standing is crumbling as quickly as their romantic situation. People don't just forgive this level of calculated deception. Trust, once broken this severely, doesn't easily repair. Your person's friends and family are also feeling the weight of their role in this situation. They encouraged your person to give the manipulator a chance, to be open to new love, to move forward from their connection with you. Now comes the most dangerous phase of the manipulator's exposure. When cornered animals get desperate, they become unpredictable and vicious. The manipulator is launching a final counterattack, trying to salvage what's left of their crumbling empire. They're attempting to flip the script one last time, claiming they're the real victim in this situation. They're telling anyone who will listen that your person is having a mental breakdown, that they're being influenced by toxic people, that this is all a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. The manipulator is pulling out every emotional manipulation tactic in their arsenal. They're threatening self-harm, claiming they can't live without your person, promising to change if given just one more chance. They're even trying to use shared responsibilities and connections as leverage. If there are financial entanglements, living situations, or mutual commitments, they're weaponizing every single one to maintain their grip on your person's life. The most insidious part of this counterattack involves them attempting to isolate your person from anyone supporting the truth. They're claiming that your person's friends and family are jealous, that they're trying to break up a beautiful relationship, that nobody understands their special bond. They're also launching a smear campaign against you with renewed intensity. Since the truth about their manipulation is spreading, they're trying to make you look like the mastermind behind their downfall. They're claiming you orchestrated this entire exposure to win your person back. Some people might initially buy into this desperate narrative, especially those who were heavily invested in supporting the manipulator's original story. Nobody wants to admit they were completely wrong about someone, so some will cling to any explanation that makes them feel less foolish. The manipulator is counting on this psychological tendency, hoping to create enough confusion and doubt to muddy the waters around their exposure. They're playing on people's discomfort with admitting they were deceived. Your person is having to stay strong against this final assault, while also dealing with the emotional exhaustion of uncovering so much deception. The manipulator is timing these attacks for maximum impact, striking when your person is most vulnerable. This phase reveals the true depths of the manipulator's character. When their carefully constructed facade finally fails, what emerges is someone willing to cause maximum damage rather than accept responsibility for their actions. There's a pivotal moment coming where everything crystallizes for your person. All the confusion, all the doubt, all the manipulation tactics become suddenly transparent. This moment arrives like a lightning strike of pure understanding. Your person stops engaging with the manipulator's desperate tactics entirely. They realize that continuing to argue, defend, or explain is exactly what the manipulator wants. Every response feeds the drama and gives the manipulator more material to work with. The silence that follows is deafening. Your person simply stops participating in the chaos, and the manipulator's true nature becomes even more apparent as they continue their solo performance for an audience that's no longer watching. In this moment of clarity, your person sees the entire timeline differently. They recognize how their natural empathy and good intentions were systematically exploited. They understand how their desire to see the best in people was turned against them. They're also seeing you in this new light of understanding. Every warning you gave, every concern you expressed, every moment of hesitation you showed around this person now makes perfect sense. You weren't being jealous or possessive. You were being protective and intuitive. Your person is remembering specific conversations where you tried to point out inconsistencies in the manipulator's stories. They recall how you would go quiet when the manipulator was around, how your energy would shift in their presence. All those moments when you seemed uncomfortable or distant weren't about your own insecurities. You were picking up on something fundamentally wrong with this person's energy, something that took your person much longer to recognize. This clarity extends beyond just romantic relationships. Your person is applying these new insights to their entire social circle, their family dynamics, their professional relationships. They're identifying other areas where they might have been manipulated or where their boundaries weren't respected. The experience is simultaneously devastating and liberating. Devastating because they realize how thoroughly they were deceived, but liberating because they now have the tools to recognize and reject manipulation in all its forms. Your person is also experiencing a profound shift in their relationship with their own intuition. They're vowing never again to ignore those inner warning signals in favor of what others tell them they should feel or think. This moment of clarity becomes a turning point, not just in their relationship with the manipulator, but in their entire approach to life and relationships. They're emerging as a stronger, wiser, more discerning person. The manipulator's desperate tactics actually accelerated this awakening. Their increasingly erratic behavior made it impossible for your person to maintain any illusions about their character or intentions. Your person is now operating from a place of absolute truth. They see the manipulator clearly, they see the situation clearly, and most importantly, they see you clearly for who you really are and have always been. The manipulator is starting to crack under the pressure of being exposed. Their carefully constructed persona is falling apart, and the real person underneath is emerging. They're showing their true colors now. Vindictive, spiteful, unable to accept responsibility for their actions. They're lashing out at everyone around them because their manipulation scheme has been thoroughly exposed. Your person is seeing behaviors they never witnessed before. The mask is completely off, and the manipulator's real personality is on full display. It's not pretty. They're making desperate attempts to regain control of the narrative, but it's too late. Too many people have seen too much truth for any additional lies to be effective. The manipulator is probably trying to play victim, claiming they're being attacked unfairly or that your person is being influenced by others. Classic manipulation tactics that no longer work when everyone can see the pattern. They might even try to blame you for the situation, suggesting that your energy or influence is causing the problems. They can't accept that their own actions created this disaster. This entire situation is cosmic justice in action. The universe doesn't allow people to interfere with chosen one connections without consequences. What's happening now is the natural result of someone trying to manipulate spiritual laws. Your person is becoming a warrior for truth, refusing to accept any more lies or manipulation. They're standing up not just for themselves, but for the authentic connection you shared. They're telling the manipulator that they can never be what you are to them. They're making it clear that the comparison isn't even close. You operate on a completely different level. The manipulator is hearing that they brought chaos where you brought peace, drama where you brought harmony, toxicity where you brought healing. Your person is acknowledging that they made a mistake in allowing this manipulator to come between them and their true connection. They're taking responsibility for their part, while making it clear that they were systematically deceived. This confrontation isn't just about ending one toxic relationship. It's about your person cleaning house completely, removing everyone who supported or enabled the manipulation. They're realizing that some of the people they trusted were either easily deceived or had their own reasons for supporting the manipulator's agenda. These people are also being cut off. Your person is creating boundaries with family members who pressured them into giving the manipulator a chance. They're limiting contact with friends who spread lies about you or supported the false narrative. They're going through their entire social circle and reevaluating every relationship based on how people behaved during this situation. Some connections will survive this process, others won't. The manipulator is losing not just your person, but their entire support network. People are distancing themselves as the truth spreads and the full extent of the deception becomes clear. This experience is fundamentally changing your person. They're developing a much more sophisticated understanding of manipulation tactics and red flags. They're becoming less trusting of surface-level presentations and more reliant on their intuitive senses. They're also developing a deeper appreciation for authentic connections and genuine energy. Having experienced the difference between artificial attachment and real love, they'll never settle for less again. The manipulator inadvertently did you a favor by showing your person what counterfeit connection looks like. Now they can recognize and value the authentic bond you share. Your person is emerging from this situation stronger, wiser, and more committed to truth and authenticity in all their relationships. The manipulator is facing a complete collapse of their social and romantic life. Word is spreading about their deceptive behavior, and their reputation may never recover. They're learning that actions have consequences, especially when those actions involve deliberately hurting others through systematic deception. Their attempts to steal someone else's connection and identity have backfired spectacularly. Instead of gaining what they wanted, they've lost everything they had. The manipulator is probably experiencing their own spiritual crisis as they confront the reality of their behavior. This level of vindictive manipulation creates serious karmic debt. They're also dealing with the humiliation of being exposed in front of everyone they tried to impress. The people they convinced to support them now see them as a liar and manipulator. While this drama plays out, you're in your power like never before. You're living your truth, growing stronger, and becoming more magnetic every day. The contrast between your authentic growth and the manipulator's artificial performance is becoming obvious to everyone who knows both of you. Your person is remembering why they were drawn to you in the first place. Your genuine energy, your natural spiritual alignment, your authentic way of being in the world. They're recognizing that you never needed to manipulate or scheme to earn their love. Your connection was natural, organic, and real from the beginning. The manipulators' elaborate schemes only highlighted how effortless your bond was in comparison. They had to work so hard to create artificially what you shared naturally. The story of this manipulation and exposure is spreading through multiple social networks. People love a good story about truth triumphing over deception, especially when it involves such elaborate schemes. Your person is becoming an advocate for your character, correcting false narratives and setting the record straight about what really happened. They're telling people about the manipulators' tactics, warning others to watch for similar red flags in their own lives. The manipulators' methods are being exposed in detail, making it harder for them to use the same techniques on future victims. People are sharing their own experiences of feeling manipulated by this person, creating a fuller picture of their pattern of behavior. This entire situation demonstrates the spiritual law that truth always surfaces, especially when someone tries to interfere with divine connections. The manipulator thought they could override spiritual law through manipulation and scheme, but they discovered that the universe doesn't work that way. Your connection with your person was divinely orchestrated, and no amount of human manipulation could permanently sever it. The manipulator's attempts to steal your place and identity created a karmic backlash that's now playing out in real time. As this drama concludes, you're positioned for a beautiful new beginning. Your person is seeing you with new eyes, appreciating qualities they took for granted before. They're understanding your worth in a way that only comes from experiencing a poor substitute. They know the difference now between authentic and artificial connection. The manipulator's elaborate schemes actually serve to highlight your natural gifts and genuine energy. Their efforts to copy you only emphasized how unique and irreplaceable you are. Your person is ready for a real connection again. They've learned to recognize and reject manipulation, making them a better partner for you. The manipulator is finally facing the consequences of their elaborate deception. Their house of lies has completely collapsed, taking their reputation and relationships with it. Your person is standing in truth, refusing to accept any more manipulation or false narratives. They're choosing authenticity over convenience, truth over social pressure. Most importantly, your divine connection is being restored and recognized for what it truly is. A bond that no amount of human manipulation could permanently destroy. You've been vindicated, not through argument or defense, but through the simple power of truth revealing itself in its own time. The manipulator's downfall serves as a powerful reminder that trying to steal what belongs to a chosen one always backfires eventually. Your story isn't just about personal vindication. It's about the triumph of authentic love over manipulation, truth over lies, and divine connection over human scheming. The universe has spoken, and the message is clear. What's meant for you will always find its way back to you, no matter what obstacles others try to create. This is your moment of vindication, chosen one. Your truth has prevailed, your connection is being restored, and your manipulator has been thoroughly exposed. Justice has been served, and your real story can finally begin.